Morning, Roger.
Hey, good morning, Dirk. Well, this is going pretty good right now, getting people on stage and getting them off the stage. So the 10 minutes are now yours, Dirk.
So I tried to share my screen. Thanks for having me. So
yes,
I need, so wait, can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can see it now.
Better?
Yes, this is good. This is full screen.
Cool. So I have 10 minutes. I try to stay in time. Let's talk about self-aware autonomous city. And the question here becomes the more data and the more connectivity we have in cities and nationwide, is this an utopia or a voluntary prison that we will face? Maybe just one sentence to my person. So I'm Dirk Neugebauer. I'm the executive partner of Esplendor Group, so one of the founders. And we are headquartered in Luxembourg, but I work constantly in the Netherlands for even Amsterdam and some other municipalities already. So let's start with the definition. So what is a self-aware city about? And I think we need to make a quick investigation. What is consciousness about? And consciousness, and this is a quote from Joshua Bach, one of the key AI philosophers in the industry, that consciousness is naturally emerges when you have a system that makes a model of its own attention. The system will remember not only having experienced certain things that it was aware of, but also that it experienced them. So it's about, I can think about my thinking, to put it very, very short. On top of that, if you talk about autonomous city and infrastructure and urban artificial intelligence, it's really more the shift from automation to autonomy in the smart city environment. What does it mean for our future of living? Do we Skynet the city? Everyone, I think, is aware of this dystopia that was drawn by Hollywood. If we connect everything and every device and give an artificial intelligence full control, what is our role after? And are we the ones that then a system can identify as the ones that are poisoning the infrastructure so it get rid of us? Or it's what we are facing, more statistics on steroids. What is the statistics on steroids? It's at the moment the status of an AI. We don't have a general AI, so a system that can teach itself. We have at the moment more or less really statistics that an AI can digest. It can take informed decisions based on that, propose us human being some further activities after, but it can't reason. It can't give you a reason why it have decided this and that. This is a huge issue at the moment in the industry when it comes to autonomous driving, for instance. But we are getting there. Robert Kurzweil, maybe you have heard of him from Singularity University, is claiming that we will reach a singularity so that mankind intelligence is overcome by AI in 2040. I think we are currently working with the wrong models to achieve this, to really have an AI that is fully aware of itself with an own consciousness, so an artificial consciousness. But I think we are in a good direction. I will give you some more examples where we are at the moment when we talk about self-aware autonomous cities. You have to understand, if we talk about singularity, that there are exponential technologies. I think the most obvious is the computing power. And this is the underlying layer of everything that is surrounding us and that is really accelerating dramatically how data can be used in certain instances. And my former colleague talked about it. Connectivity is key. So we have faster, cheaper computing power exponentially. This is impacting dramatically sensors, robotics, printing technologies, synthetic biology, virtual reality, and everything beyond. And this is usually creating very unexpected convergent consequences. Connectivity is here, besides cognition, the key driver. And if we look in the smart city environment, we have for sure connectivity, hyperconnectivity with 5G, and in the future, even 6G wireless networks all over the place. Without, we can't even talk about autonomous infrastructure, about autonomous decision-making processes in such an environment. We have connected supply chains. Due COVID very accelerated that we go away from global resilient supply chains. We go more to local, delocalization of production and centralization. We have prediction all over the place, so the machine can augment human intelligence. What is cooking in the future is a kind of a foresight, and this becomes with reinforcement learning more and more accurate. So reinforcement learning is a new technique from a model that called IG, that is minimizing the possibilities in the future, what allows you to do better predictions. Reverse logistics is something that we really have to understand how we can change the environment, the city as such, with subterranean mobility, access features and everything that can unstress the traffic. And that is with COVID even allowing the city to cope with a new, not aware of, how can I really avoid crowds? How can I create safe transportation means? Living material, I will go into this. So think about growing concrete so that you don't have a brick, but the brick can be something more organic. And chemical or 3D printing and 4D printing is something that is now at the horizon with other material science approaches. Materials Genome Project, maybe some have heard of it, already is synthetical biology, where you create your material, what you really need. And this is as well linked to the sustainability goals, where Esplendor Group is as well part of this initiative. How can we create the new city? What is needed for that to really achieve or decarbonize even the city as such? There are a lot of things are cooking and they are not that far away. But again, what is an autonomous city about? I call this post-human centricity accelerated. What does it mean? Usually you come from a human-centered approach. So based on the needs of your citizen, you design, you do urban design, you create everything, but centered around their needs. And the system and the technology is enabling the solution for that. Post-human centricity is a new era that had already started, as we have to work with machines now, robots. And it's not only that they are replacing us. Autonomous cars are not replacing mobility. They are allowing us a very different way of come from A to B. And post-human centricity is exactly defining the way how we interact with a machine. And this leads to new ways how we design in the future cities and the way of living. Exponential autonomy, as I said, is a system behavior that really creates this interoperability between concrete that was enhanced and augmented with technology, IoT sensors, you have artificial intelligence. It creates a kind of self-awareness and can make autonomous decisions on behalf of the human being, but informed. So what does it mean? A city becomes more or less a living system, like an organic system. It understands there's not the highest well-being factor at the moment in place, because there's carbon pollution ongoing. We have noise pollution. We have everything that the system as such can lower automatically, because it has ears, sensors to smell, to understand what are the current conditions, and based on some set up rules by the human being, it can execute on behalf, slowly but surely. So general intelligence, if we have achieved this, so that a system can really work in that pattern, in this realm, will unlock the next value of values. Why? The human being has not to cope with complexities and big data, because the human brain has some benefits against a machine, but not in this context. A human can learn. A machine can't learn. At the moment, in AI cannot even learn like an 18-month-old baby. But it can cope with more data very fast, what a human being can't do. But a human being can learn very differently with different concepts and then pass over the learning experience to other models and circumstances. But we are getting there. As well, we have space semantics in the cooking and the making at the moment, that really you understand the environment. You have new concepts popping up, new situations, and the city can cope with it in the future. What allows it to do even action prediction. So how can I steer energy and everything beyond in a nice way? So if I want to explore some 2-3 slides or some more slides here in the mega trends that we are going into. In the smart city, we have the next generation of the internet. Elon Musk was already launching this some weeks ago. Brain communities. So we become variables. We human beings could be connected between human to human and human to concrete, to infrastructure in a very different way. A full 4D internet, the digital carbon footprint of the whole world, available, enhanced with dynamic data, and 6G was already launched a year ago from China, and this is about quantum communication. Humans will evolve as well in the future, so either we become superhumans, enhanced by technology, we see sense better, or an AI becomes more intelligent, super intelligent. If we have overcome the singularity, there will be an end in intelligence, because you can't exponentially grow intelligence. There's a limit and infinity embedded in it. And the newest computer technologies called neuromorphic computers, they imitate neurons on an artificial way. And this means transistors, hardware, can learn new concept on its own. So this is an exponential technology that we are currently have already in the labs proven, and they are working on it. And just finish me with some 2, 3, 4 material future prospects that are currently already on. Living material is a way how you can make a house, a large battery, for instance, if you have a solar roof on top. So the concrete with bacteria enhanced, the mortar, can store energy and can give it back. And this is a very new way how to build sustainable city environments. You can on top use 4D printing technology. What the picture here is saying and illustrating is coming from the NASA. So the material can react on conditions from the outside and can change. It can change even by stimulation from the outside called programmable matter. So you have, for instance, a stick, and the stick can become a cup of tea. You can engineer it, and you see here different layers can be stimulated in the way. And if you put this into a city environment, we could have a city that adapts to the human needs. Last but not least, we have the Genome Project. So they call it scientific AI, where you can as well graphene. I don't know if you have heard of this, the newest material that can drive us to very new experience with zero energy use and decarbonize dramatically the environment. As graphene is one output of the Genome Project, it's based and built out of carbon. So you use the poison to build sustainable material, and you can use it in a concrete that can even then interact with the environment. So this is the material from carbon dioxide, and I stop here. I have more, but I think I need to stop.
That is amazing, Dirk. That is amazing. So things are going to change, but I have one question for you, and that's just a one-word answer, I guess. Evan Bennett just asking, what is the best example of a city in the world that is leading the way right now in these kind of developments?
Singapore.
Singapore it is. Well, we got a woman from Singapore later on stage, Esther Ann. She's already waiting in the backstage, so I will put her online after this roundtable. So she will talk about what is happening in Singapore. Thank you very much, Dirk. Have a great day.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Show us your insights.
Thank you. Cheers.